I am Starlene with the Masked Man, and we're going to be talking about the astrology for November 2025. How are you, Masked Man? I don't know if you're going to reveal yourself or not on camera.
The masked astrologer never reveals his identity.
Yeah, I'm a spider today, so see my spidery, but I need more arms or something.
It's
The
entirely
jacket
too
is
hot.
actually really cool. I like the jacket. What, you've got the little things on it, is that part of it? Or did you
Yes,
just
I was gifted this from a friend. Got the Cthulhu patch and the other one. So
very cool. So
and the other one. So that's kind of how it goes. I'm never centered.
wait, what was
In more
that?
ways than one, am I never centered? There we go. In more ways than one. There we go. That's still not centered, but I don't care. It's 2025. Nobody cares anymore.
No one cares. That was 2019.
That was so yeah. Anything pre-March of 2020 doesn't even exist anymore.
But wasn't it really 2019 when it started falling apart? I mean, I get it. March was like the pinnacle, but
Uh, So on here, I'll just start the sidetracking now because I usually do anyways. Um, it's funny. So I'm a humongous music nerd. So not only do I not care what anybody's calendars are or days of the week or anything, I kind of on top of like I measure time by um, astrology and music releases. So that's how I relate. And if I wasn't having to constantly like type out the date and stuff for things, I wouldn't even know what day it was. But I'm able to keep track of it because I'm always having to type date. I'm just totally railroading this entire thing. Um, so like my music memory, the last great album release of the old world was out I think at the beginning of Virgo season. I think it was late August of 2019. And so to me that was kind of and the title track too is about like dealing with fear, and there's like a lot of metaphors towards um like epidemics and things like that. Of just to kind of back up your point, that was kind of the closure of like that world for me. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it till 6 months. I didn't know it till March 15th of 2020, but that was kind of the end. That was the last great album of uh,
of that era.
that period of mankind. I said that was the last great album of that timeline. So I don't even know what my original point was there.
Yeah,
But
we were sidetracked
music,
when timelines and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah,
It
yes,
feels like
yes.
okay, so we had a little taste of what the fiery masculine signs are a couple months ago, and now everything's back into earthy, watery signs. Well, not everything, but you know, um, what
Yeah. Uranus will be there shortly. Then we'll have Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. all retrograded back. I do want to point out I was right on, for me than for some, but I was correct on the you know, looking July through like late August. That's going to be our glimpse into the future. And this period, this fall, like starting September 1st, when Saturn re-entered Pisces, up through like next spring, that is that is your chance to fix or streamline, or gotta streamline it and rearrange it, or else you gotta let it go. And it's like I have literally some through my own um, ambition, and a lot of it forced upon me. I've been forced to touch or reorganize or deal with September 1st. So it's I see a lot of people. I see a lot of posts on Facebook of people talk. I'm just rambling now. I know. Um, people saying like nothing's working. I feel like everything's at an end, and not. Yeah, it should be, because we're at the end of this time. March 2020, through say February of 2026. That's when like we're firmly in the new reality. This is the last 6 months to bring anything into the next part of your life, because that Saturn Neptune conjunction is next February. I think it's next February. And that's the reset point into the next portion of reality. So you should be feeling like things are dying, because any kind of old stuff is or killed or put to sleep or changed or needs new energy put into it. Like nothing's going to run how it was this last 5 years. I'm going to shut up and let you talk for a little while now.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if they had more than one hit, but they don't. It's February 20th, 2026. So, yeah, I and we got a little bit of a taste of this in the spring when they both moved into Aries, just in conjunct. To me, I thought it was going to be. I was kind of surprised at the awareness that seemed to come about, not just to me, but clients and people that I connect with and talk to and stuff, like almost like a rude awakening sort of thing, where they were faced to have to see something that maybe they weren't wanting to see. And it felt, I was expecting a little bit of that, but I was expecting it to be softer, because I always thought Neptune's okay, but Neptune in Aries is way different than Neptune in Pisces, right? We're like, we go from pink fluffy clouds when Neptune went into Pisces to, I don't know, the pits of the fiery world.
Right. Yeah, and neither Saturn nor Neptune are happy in Aries, and I think we saw that the middle part of this year.
Yeah.
I think we saw that they were not happy in that sign. And
yeah, and they were close to being, well, they were conjunct, but they weren't exact.
We're going to be.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think,
yeah,
we got confirmation from the cat Lord. Yeah, Saturn and Neptune are not happy in Aries, and once we get into next, like past February 20th, there and then until April of 2028, it's uh it's gonna pass. It's gonna seem like it's gonna pass by like it's gonna seem like 2 seconds. It's going to be full out, full on, all day long, every day. It's not going to stop for 2 years straight until Saturn enters Taurus in April of 2028. That's the next like slowdown point.
Right, right. Okay, that makes sense.
So any anything that needs addressed or fixed or changed, it needs to happen before we get to that February 20th date, because things are going to go so fast after that point that you're just not going to be able to. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, and when okay, so that's Saturn, but what about Jupiter? I mean, Jupiter can be difficult or easier depending. But Jupiter is in it's in Gemini right now, right? Wait, no,
Yeah,
it's not.
it's in. It's getting ready to station at 25 Cancer.
Cancer, yeah. So, and it'll be moving, 25 Cancer. So it'll be moving out. It takes about a year to go through a sign, right? Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah,
look at the chart now that we have like the Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Cancer, and then Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. So they're making a wider grand trine in the sky, but still there, you know? Um, you were talking about a grand trine with this
Saturn.
Mars, Neptune. Wait, maybe I didn't take the notes for that. Was it Mars, Neptune,
Mars, Neptune, Saturn, and
and
Jupiter.
Jupiter? Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Mars and Scorpius. Now, of course, Mars moves out of there next Tuesday. Mars moves into Sag. But shortly after that, the sun will pop in there, and the sun will replace Mars in that water grand trine.
yeah, yeah. The sun will move in towards the end of Scorpio. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild. These outer planets being so connected to each other. It's not a common thing. Um, so what do you think is the like overall of November? Like if you were gonna like what's the overall theme of November?
So um, there's a lot of uh, there's a lot in November. Um, so I think it's like it's a lot of water mixed with um, a lot of Uranus energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, you know, the water energy is, intuiting your way through using your fish fins to paddle through the water.
Your fish fin. That's very hysterical. Well, I mean, you could, right? That makes sense. But wading your way through it, yeah. And then we have a lot of like planets moving in different signs, so this will be a shifty month.
And yeah, so just like on an aside with that, so like Neptune's retrograded back into Pisces, but it doesn't go any lower than it gets around to like 29.5 degrees of Neptune and Pisces. So um that's that's the 360th degree of the zodiac. It's the last degree of so this is the wrapping up of this portion of reality, This is the end part of this. So you're going to see lots of things, people, places, animals leaving. And then like just kind of like our task now is to make sure everything is in good working order once we get to next spring, because just things are going to go so fast. But I mean 29 Pisces is, and plus with Saturn there too at the end of Pisces. Because 0 degrees Aries is the first degree of the zodiac, and that's that's new birth. Aries is new birth. So there's going to be lots of new things coming in, but we've got to have our emotional as best as possible anyways.
That makes sense. That does make sense. I mean, and so right now we've got that grand trine going, the water grand trine, and then like you said, it'll be replaced by the sun towards the end of the month. We also have, I mean, there's so many different connections with these outer planets that it seems like it doesn't stop because the retrograde cycles and then coming back forward to them. Yeah, it's like a nonstop. Um, oh boy. So let's start into November 3rd is the first thing we're going to talk about. Mars trining Neptune in Scorpio Pisces. That's part of what we were talking about. That, I guess that's when it peaks, right? Mars trining Neptune. That's the
Yeah.
peak of it. But right now we have Mars making the trine to
Yeah, that's
part of. Yeah, it's like the peak of it. So it's coming up. And so in your experience with grand trines, do you feel like grand trines are easy or flow easy, or do you think they can be challenging too?
well, so in general, I think grand trines are very, in general, is very easy energy. I think that's very good, harmonious energy, regardless of the element.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's coming from somebody who has a very large water grand trine in their natal chart. I will say that a lot of times when there's Scorpio involved, it may not be the sign, because the Scorpio energy is always about transformation.
Mm.
And I can't tell you the number of times where there's been like pertinent Scorpio transit. No, it was definitely a period of transition.
Right.
So it's not always. So normally that energy flows easily, but sometimes you don't want want other things to flow.
Right. Well, that actually does make sense. Sometimes it doesn't really help. So sometimes I think too, if the situation around you is not like easy, it can be like chaotic because of that. Did you ever experience that with grand trines? Like if it feels kind of like things are off or something. Yeah.
Right. Or
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
well, I think with like the Scorpio, or if you have like Pluto or something in the grand trine, it may be the transformation goes a lot heavier and more forceful than maybe you would maybe like that energy to back off a little bit. But when there's Scorpio involved, like there's going to be transit. So that's, I think, where you have to kind of preemptively push things in the direction you want to, so that it's not dictated towards you.
Yeah,
I think is the proper play on that.
that makes sense. So we'll go into some of the ingresses. So Mars goes into Sagittarius on the 4th of November. How long does Mars stay in Sagittarius? Do you know? I can look if you don't know off the top of your head.
So it used to be like 2 months was kind of the normal Mars transit, but I've
Right.
noticed now that they're a lot closer to 6 weeks. When you're, I think it's because of the ecliptic where it is in the zodiac.
Yeah,
It travels faster through some signs than it does ours. A half.
it's December 15th is when it goes into Sag.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, so when Mars is in Scorpio, what is the vibe? Oh, why did I say Scorpio? I meant Sagittarius. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Mars is at the end of
Right.
very end of Scorpio now.
Right. Well,
So Mars and Sag. So this is where I relate Sag and Aries very closely together. I mean, they're both fire signs. So, but this is where Mars invaders, and also like uh, people with Mars in one of those two signs. They're very looking to conquer new areas, conquer new lands, have different, more different experiences. I would say the only my only suggestion for that energy is think before you act, because both of those signs I think can be themselves in a hole by not thinking everything through, just because that's their nature. Just as Mars and Scorpio is much more, I don't want to say conservative, but they're much more, and so sometimes too, maybe they outthink themselves, the Mars and Scorpio. But yeah, the Mars and Sag definitely is just like, it just eats up experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And travel is definitely a Sagittarius
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it doesn't have to be like physical travel, but it can just be like mental travel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it seems kind of like the idea of just expanding yourself, your energy in different ways. The Sagittarian vibe. So, and it seems like so Mars and Scorpio to me seems very intense. It's like this digging to the nth degree. I have like my progressed moon in Scorpio. I'm so ready for it to be out of Scorpio, like, and then like my descendant is Scorpio, so I don't have any planets in Scorpio, but and it's all like right at the end, and I'm like, I'm ready for that Scorpio stuff to be. And then when Mars was there, then there was a bunch of asteroids on top of it. It was like all at once. I felt like, and I felt like there was a pinnacle of energy, and so I'm ready for Mars to move out of Scorpio, so it can be into Sagittarius. Feels a little lighter, more exciting to go out into the world, and the mood seems to shift from brooding to like more bold or fun or action adventurous kind of thing. That's my take on it. Yeah. So that is November 4th until, what did I say, December 15th. And then we have the next, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
The next one we have is, I think I can show it. Oh, maybe I can't. It's showing in the wrong place. That's funny. I put it as like a little ticker accidentally. Let's do it as a banner so we can see it up at the top. Okay. So this one is going to be a fun one. It is Mars opposite Uranus. And this is at 0 degrees Gemini and Sagittarius. So this is going to be, I don't know, Mars and Uranus seem to be accidents to me. They're accidents with another person that can be, and not necessarily like, a full on accident, just could be like a little brash, a little too much. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think with Mars opposite Uranus, that's expect the unexpected. There's
Yeah.
usually some sort of big event often tied to Mars opposite Uranus. And if people are just gonna kind of be like after the Mars and Scorpio, Mars is just recently in the Sag, and then it's opposite Uranus. So you can expect uh, uncharacteristic behavior out of people, especially if that's hitting. If they have stuff at that 0 Sag, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo area.
Well, it's kind
That's
of
definitely
like
going to activate them.
right with anything 0 degrees because it'd be aspecting their planets too, just 0 degrees in general.
Yeah.
But you're right, especially the
So
like the opposite sign. So that would make it like if you had planets there, that would make But I always think that Mars and Uranus like can cause you to be accidental prone, where you're just not thinking and you just do, and you, oh shit, I didn't need to do that. Like so slow. I always tell people slow down.
yeah,
Well, what happened during Mars and Uranus, I think it was a conjunction. That was when Trump got shot in his ear, and it was right on Algol and one of his planets. I don't remember what planet it was, but it, yeah. I mean, like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, things that you are not expecting can definitely pop up. And, Algol is a fixed star too, so it's not in this mix here, but it just, it is what it is. Yeah, and that'll last a couple days, right? So Mars and Uranus a couple days around the 4th.
yeah. I would give it probably like 4 days on either end because that's about 2 degrees of Mars movement.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I would say that's So definitely like November whatever 2nd through 6th or no, like 1st through the 9th is probably the highlight zone there
Mm-hmm.
of
That makes
of
sense.
that energy.
So, yeah, and then right after that, we have the full moon in Taurus. So that's at 13 Taurus. Did you look at the full moon chart? I haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to pull it up really quick. But the full moon in Taurus, ooh, that can be
Yeah,
what do you think?
but you're the audio cut out there for a second.
Oh, can you hear me now?
What did you say you think it can be? What?
It can be intense, the full moon in Scorpio, in Taurus.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, did you look at the lunation?
Yeah, I think those, I did not look at the chart for the full moon yet. Those usually pack a lot of punch. Just because it's fixed energy, so that kind of like holds the intensity level, I think, more so than like the full moons and immutable signs kind of feel like things are like really wacky and out of control. Whereas like with the fixed signs, I think it's more kind of a feeling of things feeling more rigid and fixed. And then like the full moons and the cardinal signs are kind of like, the cardinal signs are kind of, I think, because that's when the four seasons each start too on the ingress into the cardinal sign. So I think that's kind of a call to action or a call to duty or something.
Yeah, and that's very, I mean, it's so close to when the Mars and Uranus opposition, it's just the day after, that Mars and Uranus are still, in the same degree as each other, just like 30 minutes or so away. So they're really, in like 30 minutes, like half a degree, not minute time wise. But yeah, so this is like a time of, potentially things being a little chaotic or things coming up from the past. I think one of the things I think Taurus does quite well is like remembering things or bringing things back. I think that's probably the fixed nature of Taurus. So it could be that things resurface for you to process and work through them. The energy of Taurus, and then the sun, of course, in Scorpio. There's always that rebirthing type of thing. That's a Scorpio Taurus axis. And then with the Uranus, and they're actually, all four of those planets are kind of making not aspects, but an isotrap to each other, where they're all close in space from each other. So that's interesting, because they are not aspecting, but they are making these energetic connections to each other. So there's a mix between the full moon and the Uranus Mars energy. Yeah.
The fourth and fifth look, I mean, that looks pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
Because the fourth is there's a moon Jupiter square early in the morning, and then Mars enters Sag, and then the moon enters Taurus, and then there's a Mars Uranus opposition, and then the moon squares Pluto, and that's all within like a 12-hour period.
Oh wow!
On the same day, and then the next day is the full moon early the next morning.
Wow.
So that's a lot. That looks like a big release of energy. Good for some, bad for others.
That is true. Sometimes the energy releasing is good, and sometimes it's like very chaotic. You just have to kind of figure out where you live in that land. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I lost my place with my stuff. Yeah. So would you say that's like the pinnacle of this month, or do you think there's like another thing that's more?
Well, so actually, I think the exact pinnacle. So really, the middle part of the month here is like it's super chaotic. Because then like the day after the full moon, then Venus enters Scorpio.
Yeah, I was just getting.
And then the day after, and then you got the Uranus retrograde on November 7th. So that So the outer planet stationing to me is one of the like single biggest things in astrology. That's one of the things that I follow the closest is when the outer planets station.
Yes.
And so the energy of that of an out, like a planet stationing, you get like a week on either end where that planet's not moving, so that energy is really pertinent. And
Hmm.
then two, with an outer planet which moves slow anyways compared to other stuff, then it'll just be sitting at a degree, or close to a degree for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a good while before Uranus really starts moving again.
Right.
So
Uranus
it's
moves so slow. Like, I mean, obviously it does, but it does. I think it covers about 7 degrees throughout the year. That's really it. So it just takes so long when it gets stationed. And I mean, I just went through a bunch of Uranus on my ascendant stuff when it was in Taurus. So I'm so grateful it's gone because it felt like I felt like I was just there for like 2 years. Then it was just like chaotic. But before we go to that,
yeah.
let's talk about Venus and Scorpio. What are you feeling about Venus and Scorpio? What's your vibe on that one?
I see. I see you got the hot lips up there next to November 6th date. So that's the
Heart on fire. Should have been a better emoji.
um, yeah. So I mean, Venus entering Scorpio is that's the sexual energy probably at a peak,
Yes.
or after Mars and Scorpio, I'd say maybe that's at its peak. Um, so that there's like outside of that, it's like Venus Scorpio is transformation. So kind of on the bigger level, it's like that's where you uh, kind of look deep down inside and figure out where what resources are more important to you than others, and how can you change things you need to get rid of, or things you need to um rework, or whatever. Yeah, it's like, because it's you got your resources tied with transformation. So that's you
I always think of, well, Venus
find
is,
out what.
I'm sorry.
So you figure out like what. Yeah, I think there's a little lag. I think somewhere on the um but it's probably on my end because I'm out in the country. um I think it makes you kind of dig deep down and see where you can make cuts, and where you want to make sure that you don't have to make any cuts, because you want your which resources are more important to you, I think is kind of the question there
Oh, that makes sense. And I mean,
with
I always,
Venus and Scorpio.
right, Venus being our attraction, what we're attracted to, and it's like this magnet, right? But you want to make sure that the magnet is attracting what you want, not like what you don't want. So always keeping your mind involved with it. I think it's very intuitive. There's an intuition to Venus and Scorpio. So like let your brain also remember how to handle things instead of just going by intuition, because that's good, but doesn't always lead you to the best places, big picture. But I would much rather have Venus in Scorpio than Mars in Scorpio, though. Mars in Scorpio seems intense. I know that Mars is this old ruler of Scorpio, but I feel like it's just very intense to me. I don't know. Okay, and that lasts until November 30th. So it's like
It is.
next to November 30th, yeah. And then the next thing we have, and it goes, is the station that you started talking about. Is Uranus retrograde into Taurus. Not the station. It's just already retrograde. It's going into Taurus. How long does it stay in Taurus?
Right. Yeah. So Uranus retrograde. That's when it re-enters Taurus, and that's I totally missed. I'm the one who typed that, and I misread it.
I'll forgive you.
Yeah. So Uranus did its retrograde the first week of September. I totally had that messed up. Okay, and so now this is Uranus, which has already been retrograde since the beginning of it gets back to like February 3rd. It gets back to like 27.5 degrees of Taurus. So that's going to be that'll be the last station for 84 years of Uranus and of Uranus and Taurus. And so then once we get to Uranus is the last of the outer planets to move into the masculine signs that they're going to be in for a while. So it's late April, like the 26th, that Uranus will re-enter Gemini and then stay there for, it's 7.5. So, so 27.5 Taurus is the lowest that Uranus is going to get back into Taurus, and that's the first week of February of next year. So it's
I was just looking back. It is the beginning of when it goes direct. It's Uranus and Taurus seems like it has been rocky, making a lot. I don't know if it was what was causing it, but it seems like the Earth itself has been shifting. Does that make sense? I don't know. It just feels like that's been a theme lately or whatever. I guess that's the way I look at it. Like the Earth itself has been moving.
Yeah, I think that's Yeah. I think that's the remnants of the Pluto station in the middle of October. There's usually a lot of earthquakes coincided with that. But it's been very earthquakey.
Yeah, I've been looking at that, and I mean, noticed a lot of those have been going on lately. So, when it moves out of Taurus, it'll be gone for good, and that won't be till February. Okay, so that's how long we have with Uranus in Taurus. I'm just glad it's away from my ascendant and my Mars. Like, goodbye. Like, finally.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we get our wonderful Mercury in retrograde. That is going to be like the best. Just kidding. But Mercury retrograde at 7 Sag on November 9th. So that's going to be fun. Mercury stays retrograde until when? Do you know?
Till November 29th.
Oh, so it's right till November 29th. Okay, so Mercury retrograde is like, remind yourself to keep your wits about you. Don't let the chaos drive you crazy. What is your take on it?
Yeah. Mercury retrograde is always, it's to keep you from running on autopilot all the time. You're supposed to slow down and think before you act. The couple days before that, and Venus being in Scorpio, hopefully that'll let people slow down. 5 days past the Mars Uranus opposition, so that should have chilled out a little by then. Yeah, again, so the main point of Mercury retrograde is to think about what you're saying.
Yeah. And also,
That's the main point of it, is to just slow down and make sure you're saying what you mean.
do you think because of the Sagittarius influence, it doesn't say Sag the whole time? No, it doesn't, right? It goes back into Libra, right?
No, it goes back all the way down to 21 Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio. I don't know. I skipped Scorpio. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, so I guess that it just beginning of Sagittarius planets would be affecting a little more, or end of Scorpio planets. So it goes to 21 Scorpio.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's wonderful.
So that means at the Mercury retrograde part that's in Scorpio, that means it's going to be Trine, Neptune, Trine. It's going to be completing a water grand trine again with Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter. So it gets into where it'll be hitting all those. They'll be completing a water grand trine, and it'll be which I wonder if I must not have put. I know that there's a Mercury Uranus opposition there. Sometime I probably forgot to put it in there. That's two strikes. That's two strikes against me.
Fire you, Mark. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna
fire you. Should be. Yeah, I also apparently I wasn't really done with this when I sent it over. How about that? So yeah, Mercury completes a water green trine, and so does Venus. Venus also is at the end of Scorpio, at the same time retrograding back into the Scorpio. So it's actually Mercury and Venus forming a grand trine with Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. But I know there's the Mercury Uranus opposition. It's just weird how this stuff like plays out. So it's going to be November 19th is the Mercury Uranus opposition.
Right.
Yeah, 29 Taurus, 29 Scorpio. And what's funny is half an hour after the Mercury Uranus opposition is exact, Mercury forms a trine to Neptune. So we're going to have Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune all Neptune Mercury opposite Uranus. Then there's a whole ton of big water aspects at the end of the water signs here for the next couple months.
Yeah, and it keeps making these grand trines, which is interesting because it's just like I will need to flow. I need to go somewhere in the direction, hopefully in a good direction. Yeah.
And like I know I've said this many times before, but like when with like the water grand trines, it's like if you need to redirect the flow of the water, sometimes you just have to put a few well-placed rocks in the middle to direct the water where you want it to go.
That's a good point.
You don't, sometimes you just have to redirect things and it makes everything flow smoothly. You don't have to burn everything to the ground.
Oh,
That would be more of a
Scorpio energy.
that would be more of a fire grand trine
Yeah,
when you burn everything to the ground.
that's funny. So, okay, so Mercury, that's Mercury retrograde. And then we have Jupiter on the November 11th, Jupiter station retrograde at 25 of Cancer. So, how long does Jupiter stay retrograde in Cancer for? Do you know?
Like second week of March. So it moves from 25 Cancer all the way back down to 15 Cancer. And then it turns direct and moves through those last half of Cancer. And that's like July 1st, probably June 30th of next year.
Wow. And then it finally moves out of
Is the
water
last day of Jupiter in Cancer.
for 12 years. Interesting.
Yes, and then yeah.
And then all of the planets will be in, well, the outer planets will be in masculine signs, right? Not all fire because they're not fire, but fire and air. Isn't that right? In that, I'm gonna go
Yes.
ahead and
Yeah,
you said it was
we'll have Jupiter June 30th. So we'll have
yeah, they all are.
Jupiter through Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all in fire and air.
Fire and air,
So
yeah.
that's a completely different world from where we are now. That's a completely different existence. I mean, we've got Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune in water signs, and then Uranus about to re-enter an Earth sign. We're going to have all 5 of the outers, and then and actually at the end of next June too, Mars is just in. So we're going to have Venus through Pluto, all in air and fire. That's going to be a total. It's going to be a complete, total different world. Oh, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have the 7 outermost planets, all in air and fire signs.
And what would be the contrast that you would see with all these planets in these Earth and water compared to fire and air?
After like Uranus re-enters Taurus, there's things are going to be introverted and more feminine feeling, and then once we get into uh I mean, it's just going to be like full steam ahead on like every level. It's just, I think that period is just going to go so fast. But even before then, I mean, even once like Uranus re-enters Gemini, the end of April next year, I mean, things are just going to be even I mean, and really by time that Saturn and Neptune have both entered Aries, which is the middle of February. Once they're both entered Aries, I mean, things are just going to be, Saturn rules time. So I think since Saturn is re-entered Pisces on September 1st, like I think things have at least felt like they were key. That's because I don't think Saturn really functions very well in Pisces. It just kind of not on the 3D level. I mean, for like artistic type stuff and whatnot, it does, but for having like structure and things like that, like Saturn and Pisces is not.
It doesn't work.
I know Saturn rules Capricorn and Capricorn and Pisces, but still, I don't think that they really. I think.
Well, one is about the structure, getting to the heart of the things, and then the other one's about
Probably.
So it makes sense that they're not necessarily.
Right. Pisces is about the lack of structure.
Yeah, that too. I was saying all the feels,
Right.
but lack of structure or just like the
right.
impermanence of everything. Yeah.
Right.
Totally get it. So the next thing, well, we talked about this a little bit, was that Mercury goes into Scorpio on the 18th because it ends up being the retrograde cycle going back into Scorpio. So the last couple of degrees of Scorpio.
And then like that next day, I think is when all those the grand trines. That's the next version of the grand trines. So it's like, and they're going to be trine Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just these series of the different, like right now it's Mars and Scorpio completing the grand trine. Then we're going to have the sun complete the grand trine. Then we're going to have, I think, grand trine, and then Mercury and Scorpio complete the next grand trine.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have like
too. Then the moon meets the sun that day, the 19th or the 19th or so. So yeah, it's all happening all right at that time. So that's interesting. And it's opposite. The moon is opposite. The moon and sun on the 19th are also opposite when they're new, opposite I can't even say it, Uranus. So there's that too. Right when all those grand trines are happening. So it's wild. It is definitely wild. When exactly is that new moon? Let's see. Oh, I guess it's the 20th. Looks like early in the morning on the 20th for Eastern USA time.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. What is that? Yeah, that new moon's at 28 Scorpio, so
and it's
fits right into that trine.
Yeah, conjunct Mercury if you see it, and then it's also opposite Uranus. So that could be a spicy new moon. All new moons are more like seem to be less intense energies, but that could be spicy with the Uranus and the Mercury there.
Yeah. I find new moons to be extremely low energy.
Yeah.
Like absurdly low energy. Like it's like everyone and everything is just seems to be dragging on the new moon days. And I think that's because you're opposite the full moon, which is the excess energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that new moon energy is like just the starting the building cycle of what you want to come out of the next full moon. So I think that's because I see people make I mean things happen around the new moon sometimes, but it's like there's got to be a lot of like Uranus or some other kind of heavy energy to um pump that up, because that is almost always low energy.
Well, the Uranus might the Uranus and the Mercury is the Mercury's conjunct in the Uranus. I mean, it might advise me because it's not just the new moon. But yeah, I agree. It's interesting. And that is on what, the 18th? Okay. On the 21st, we have the sun going into Sagittarius. Yay!
Yeah, so that's
There you go. Celebration.
yeah, anything leaving Scorpio for Sag is a lighter energy. It's like, and to me, like that, it's like the next. That's the next phase in the cycle, because like anything in Scorpio is like deep, like forming a bond with something, or with an energy or something, and then after that is like the release. The Sag energy is the exploring, and like the whole zodiac kind of works like that. It's like a clam, like opening and closing
Yeah, that makes sense. With the
thing, like
mhm.
you know, Cancer's home life, Leo's the party. Then you got Virgo, which is the cleanup after the Leo party. Then you got Libra, which is, you know, community and being social and stuff. Then you got the Scorpio introversion, then the Sag, extroversion. Then you got the Capricorn cleaning up after the Sag party. Then you got it's just more social and outgoing. Then you got the Pisces, the hermit. Then you got the Aries, which is new birth. So again, that's outward. And then Taurus is the, looking over the spoils you claim during Aries season and organizing them. Then you got Gemini, which is the outgoing, social. And then you come out, Cancer again, home life.
But when
So
did
you have these conflict, huh?
but when did the cicadas happen?
Right. The cicadas didn't really happen this last year. That was fake news.
That was fake. That was fake.
There's not much. I saw 3 cicadas the whole. It's fake. Yes,
Like,
the cicada thing didn't really happen up north.
staying underground. Screw this. Well,
Yeah, it's 2025. We ain't coming out.
yeah, forget it.
It's a cicada strike.
Oh my
And
gosh.
look what it did to. And look what it did to the economy.
We need to give them a universal basic income.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness.
And then, okay, so then we have Mercury and Scorpio. We talked about that. Okay, and then we have Mercury station direct right after it goes into Scorpio. Is that right? Oh no, right after the sun goes into Scorpio. Mercury goes direct on the 29th. So that's finally out of retrograde. But that's the most intense time period during the station periods, right?
Yeah. 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 Totally.
Do you ever
Yeah.
feel like the shadow cycles of the station periods, or no?
I have people. Yeah, I have people ask me that frequently, especially with like the Mercury retrogrades.
Right.
It's like I'm kind of like, I feel the energy is much more powerful for like a week on either end when the planet stations, but
Right.
I found that, like, especially with like the Mercury retrogrades, like once it goes direct, I found that that stuff cleans up really quickly. I don't find, because like let's just use this one for example. So Mercury goes direct at, or Mercury goes retrograde at 6 Sag, and then after it goes direct, it doesn't hit 6 Sag again until like December 16th. So I'm not really down with that. I'm not really down with that
Shadows.
because then like with, right. So when you use the shadow degrees like with Neptune or Pluto that moves really slow, like
All the time. It's like you
you may
won't.
be adding on like 2 or 3 months on to the day that it stations before it goes back and hits where it was. That's, I mean, that would, if you use that with all the planets, that would leave you like 3 days a year that you could like do anything.
Right. So it would.
I'm good with. I'll just make a, I'll just make a blanket statement. I'm good with like a week on either end of a station for any planet. Expect a little bit of continued delays and stuff, but after that, I'm like you got to go, you got to move at that point.
Well, that's the thing. It picks up speed. So
So I mean,
it's once it starts picking up speed and gets back to like its normal, regular scheduled programming speed, it's kind of like you're back.
right,
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
yes,
Although I will say this, I
yeah,
was having computer insanity last week. It had one of my computers. Well, they both did, but one of them got. Oh my god, I got root files corrupted or something. I ended up having to reinstall Windows. And so as I was doing that, I was trying to troubleshoot with Chat GPT, and I just jokingly said, "Is like, is Mercury retrograde?" And it's like, "Oh, not yet." And I was joking when I said that, and it's like, "But it's in the shadow." And I was like, "That's funny you say that," And it was like, that's interesting. And I was
uh,
troubleshooting, and all through the troubleshooting, and another patch for Windows didn't work, so I had to reinstall Windows. It was such a nightmare, like hours of like my life sucked down the Windows hole. But it was just interesting that it was like, oh, the shadow, and I don't ever really pay attention. I will pay attention if it's stationed in the same degree for a couple of days. That's a different story. That's what you're talking about. And
oh,
outside of that, like I don't think it goes back to the degree when it started. It just doesn't seem like a thing to me. It doesn't seem like it works when I pay attention to it. But
right,
yeah,
right, right, right,
I don't know. Is that a newer concept?
right.
I
Because
mean, I've
I mean,
time, but like, is it written in any old
I
books?
think it's relatively newer. I don't think so. I think it's relatively newer. I think there are actually some books I think that mention it, but it's all newer stuff. I've not. I don't think you go back. I don't think there's stuff in the old astrology books about that.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's interesting.
yeah, I'm just not. I've just not found that that works that way.
Right. I haven't either. That's just been my own view of it. Okay. And the last thing, well, okay, that was Mercury station direct, so that happens at the end of November. And the last thing that we really have going on in November is Venus moving into Sagittarius. That's on November 30th. Hooray! Venus moves into Sagittarius. That seems like a nice lightening of energy. Although Venus in Scorpio isn't bad, it's just lighter, more jovial kind of energy when it's in Sagittarius. And like Venus, Venus is that attraction, right? And then in Scorpio, it wants that connection that's deep, that goes to the bottom of the the well or wherever the intensity of it. And then now it's lighter. I always think when the planets move out of Sagittarius into, or, sorry, out of Scorpio into Sagittarius, there's like this lighter feeling. And I've always thought about, well, Christmas people, not everybody's Christian in the world, but Christmas people are spending money and all that stuff. And that happens in the Sagittarius time, and just before everything goes into Capricorn, when it's like more like get yourself grounded and down to earth. So Sagittarius seems to be like the perfect time to do your Christmas shopping and do all the things that you need to do and holiday stuff. But yeah, interesting. What do you think about Venus going into Sagittarius?
Right. Yes. Yeah, so it's definitely more definitely more adventuresome and definitely more lighthearted and a thing that I think of with Venus and Sagittarius is somebody that has very wide tastes in food. On top of music, I think of uh, I relate things to food also. um, so I think of Venus and Sagittarius as somebody who like is very open-minded food-wise. I'm pretty boring food-wise. I have the things that I love, and you will often have to like point a gun at my head or something to get me to try something different. Now, every once in a while I do, and sometimes I like it, but a lot of like I'm pretty sure the stuff that I can tell what I'm not absolutely not going to like food wise. I because I've tried enough things that you know I I have very specific tastes, I guess. I'm very like if I've tried something twice and I don't like it, I'm not gonna like magically wake up one morning and say like, please give me. That's not part of the read the fine print. That's not in the contract. I'm not gonna. I don't. I will like Brussels sprouts. I don't know even know why I brought Brussels sprouts up, but like the correct way to cook Brussels. This is now a cooking show. Damn it. The proper and only way to cook Brussels sprouts is to put them in the oven.
Put them in.
And if you can put like some sugar or something on them, or what's the other garlic and kind of cheese you can put on them.
Parmesan, like Parmesan.
But that's how you cook Brussels sprouts to where they're crispy on the outside. Yes, Parmesan. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. Like
Wow.
that's the only way I will eat. Like I'm not going to eat Brussels.
You don't like them mushy, is
Oh,
what you're
I
saying.
know things. Yes, yes, mushy, bad. It's like raw. It's like raw bacon. I'm on strike. I'm not going to order bacon at a restaurant for like 6 months now because the last two times we went somewhere, I asked for crispy bacon
And you got like lint.
and I got like barely even cooked bacon.
Ugh.
And I just, I just want to thank everyone for coming to my TED talk on food. Um, but I just don't want. I don't want crispy bacon, and I don't want Brussels sprouts, and I don't want half cooked bacon on my Brussels sprouts.
My mind is blown. Bacon on Brussels sprouts. Do you like bacon on Brussels sprouts though? I mean, we gotta get specific over here. I
Crisp,
I never
crisp
really
bacon, crisp crisp bacon would be fine on crisp Brussels sprouts, but neither one of them can be undercooked. That's the law.
Do you ever, okay, so you gotta try this now. Do you ever I take bacon, like a piece of bacon, and I take green beans, like fresh green beans, but you could probably do it with Brussels sprouts and just wrap it around it and then put it in the toaster oven until the bacon is crispy. And then I do it with the green beans. So like you take like 3 or 4 green beans and just cut the ends off and wrap it around. That is like the yummiest like thing ever. I love it. So now I'm thinking
I have not done that, but that's why I don't like the. I love green beans, but I don't like people make it. I'm just this whole thing's. I've derailed this whole thing now. Um,
now.
I like the green beans, but I don't. I don't like that. There's like a crappy green bean salad that people make, which will have like small, like barely cooked pieces of bacon in it and like little pieces of onions and stuff. Like, no, stop. Bad chef.
You know what I can't stand that people make?
In the words of Chef Ramsay,
You know that cheese thing?
in the words of Chef Ramsay, it's fucking raw.
You know that cheese thing people make? They do it up north. I cannot stand it. It's like some mixture of cheese and stuff. And you ever see it? It's like a log of cheese, but it's the grossest thing in the whole wide
Is it
world.
a cheese ball?
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
disgusting. I can't even look at it. It's like I'm not a huge cheese person, just to put it that way, but like I can eat cheese, like a cheese sandwich or something, but like a bunch of mixed up cheese with whatever random crap in it. I've seen them put bacon in it too. It's like my family, and anytime they have something, there's this cheese log. At least the Florida family doesn't do that. The Michigan family, I just have to stay the frick away from that because it's gross. Oh yeah, it's so good, and they're eating it with crackers and stuff. I'm like, yep, that's not for me. It's just not. I'm not very adventurous with food either. I do like trying different things, but I'm kind of simple when it comes to my own food. So I understand what you're saying about being very specific about food.
I'm not that big on trying things, something that I know I'm gonna love versus trying something that could just be a crapshoot.
Yeah, I get stuck on things where I'm like eating the same thing for like a long time. Oh, I need to switch that up. I'm gonna get a mineral deficiency or something because they like eat the same thing all the time.
Totally. I'll eat the same 4 things for like 4.5 weeks, and then like I get up one day and it's just like I have to have something different besides the 4 things that I've eaten over and over again and then I'll need like a week of just eating different stuff, and then I go back to whatever my small routine is.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh boy.
In general, raw stuff, I'm not big on raw stuff.
What do you mean raw? Like salads?
Sushi.
Oh
No,
no,
salads are fine.
I don't want
But
anything
like
raw.
sushi, like raw fish, like who started this crap?
And why? Like what's
People
what
people
was
people with electricity did not start this raw food stuff.
I'm not a fan of raw food. Like I don't thank you. No, thank you.
You're
My cats eat raw food,
you're
but no thank
you're just you're just robbing yourself and others of delicious crispy bacon.
bacon is necessary. It's one of the 4 things.
And I think that sums up the November astrology as well as anything. You're just you're denying yourself of delicious crispy bacon.
It's all that Scorpio energy. You you know, give yourself some
Right.
crispy bacon.
I will eat stuff burnt to a crisp before I'll eat stuff undercooked.
Yeah. Do you
I
like
can't. I
also burnt to a crisp too? Like if you're eating a piece of beef or something, do you like
I
it
do.
well done?
Oh, I will absolutely eat stuff burnt. Yeah. There's nothing worse than biting into. I don't even know where. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But that doesn't mean I'm stopping either. Um, there's nothing worse than biting into something that should be hot and you reach that cold spot in the middle. That's disappointment on a galactic level. It's like something like Thanos would create, like the destroyer of worlds, create undercooked bacon.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. I don't even think it's edible undercooked bacon. No, no, thank you.
I think that was the original script of the last Avengers movie. Was Thanos was gonna
Make undercooked
make it
bacon.
so where people couldn't cook bacon properly. Yeah, he was going to make people eat undercooked bacon, and then Iron Man had to steal the glove from Thanos so that people could cook bacon again.
Wow,
But
that's
they did change it a little bit before they
that.
released it.
I've never seen that movie, but that seems like a terrible ending.
I think that's what the original ending was.
Wow, that's so. Well, this was a fun
Yeah, I think so.
conversation about food. We're gonna go
Yeah,
dancing around.
that's where this started.
That's what it started.
Was
Yeah,
Venus and Sagittarius. That's where that's where it all started. Yeah.
I did actually. You know what? I actually tried something new, which I don't almost ever do. It's called chicken biryani, and I have. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Have you ever had it? It's an Indian dish, and it's got all these.
Yes.
You've had it?
I have had it. I like it. Sometimes it has too much onion in it for me, but I do like Indian food. Korma or chicken tikka masala is what I tend to get. Now we do have a couple really good buffet places around us, and when they have the buffets set up, like I will get different things, and like the naan bread is amazing. All the different types of all the different types of it are good.
It's so good. Yeah, I don't know why. I just wasn't. I was actually going through the frozen department of getting other things, and then I saw these, which I've never tried that, but I like Indian food, and it was like, oh, they're buy one get one free because everything is so expensive, and I was like, well, I'll try that. I'll be adventurous. So I got 2 of them because they were buy one get one free. I'm like, oh my god, now I need to know the recipe. So I actually made it because it was so good. I'm like, this is delicious. It felt like everything had so many different flavors in it, and I'm so boring with food that like having something that has different flavors in it, like everything tasted like a party in your mouth. It was fun though.
It's like a party in your mouth.
In your mouth. But it was delicious, and I learned how to cook something new. I had to go get a few different spices, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, try something new while Venus is in Sagittarius, something from another place, but make sure your bacon is crispy.
Make sure the bacon is that's a deal breaker for me.
Yes.
Raw bacon does not
It just doesn't work.
I don't even know where I got started on all that. Yeah.
Well, this was fun. Thank you as always for being my astrology partner on this unhinged astrology podcast, and my chef with crispy bacon. All right, so we'll see you guys, I guess, next month. Have a good Halloween.
Follow
Yes, you got to start giving out recipes. Like, make sure the bacon is.
I should. I'm gonna do a 180 and just flip from astrology to cooking
That's it. You're gonna be like the
recipes.
chef, and you're gonna do with the knives and one of those like things, like Benihana or something.
Maybe I could do both at the same time.
You could do like a
Maybe I
Benihana,
could
and
do.
you're doing all the like crazy shit with the knives, and then you just be like telling people their astrology chart. So I'm going down a crazy rabbit hole. Now you're looking serious.
I think that you've got to diversify in this market.
You do. You have to diversify your portfolio or knives or something. All right. We'll see you on the next one.